Almost live from Bisbee, Arizona.
It's the Baron.
It's the Richy Greenjeans show.
Old Ann and I, with throats burned dry and sore.
You're watering the plants with used pool water?
This is hose water.
It's hose water, but you've used it, so it's kind of technically gray water. Hi!
Hi!
I'm Richy Greenjeans.
How you doing, Mr. Greenjeans?
Good. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
So today we're talking about water, stuff like that, and these kids are recycling the water.
Glad to hear that.
Is this technically gray water?
So I believe this would be called gray water, yes.
Now is kitchen sink, like things that you wash in the kitchen sink, is that technically black water or gray water?
Kitchen sink and even bathtubs are considered black water, just because of the oils and the food particles and stuff that are more typically found in that.
And is it in Bisbee technically okay to put in a gray water system?
Yes, as long as you follow whatever local business, plumbing codes there are, and typically as long as the gray water doesn't leave your property, we're okay with it.
And could you attach your tub drainage to out?
No.
If you
That's
had?
a funny thing is tub drainage, that still has organics and bodily fluids, and we don't try to think like that way, but you would be surprised to see how much grease a human body gives off.
I have a 1940s Maytag washing machine, and it's a ringer type, and so I just drain it into a hole in the ground right in my yard, and it just filters out. You want to be careful not to, some plants and trees get hurt by soaps.
And and there are some soaps that are more environmentally friendly for gray water than others.
Definitely you want to use biodegradable soaps, and biodegradable soaps are not always biodegradable in water. Like I've seen people use biodegradable soaps in rivers thinking that's perfectly safe, but it's still pollutant,
a lot of times
animals. And
a lot of times you're looking for the phosphate content, the amount of phosphates in the actual water. Soaps usually have a much higher concentration of that.
And I almost killed my honeysuckle and my rose bush that way. We want to talk about black
Sure,
water and where all this black water goes.
When you flush a toilet or take a shower, or use your kitchen sink, depending on where you're at in town, it all ends up in the same place. Now it gets there a little bit different. If you're in Old Bisbee, it gets pumped up towards Purdy Lane. Everything else is kind of gravity fed. Other than Tin Town, that has a pump station too. Once it goes through there, the plant and the wastewater plant that we have on Purdy Lane, it treats the water actually pretty naturally. It uses natural bacteria, natural bugs, and it goes through a process. And then when that's done through that process, we pull what we call the solids out and press that out, and that gets hauled to a landfill. When we disinfect our water, we don't use chlorine. There are some places that use chlorine.
UV?
We use ultraviolet light. And in fact, I'm actually looking at something maybe in the future of doing ozone treatment, because ozone has a better destruction rate on pharmaceuticals. Right now, it dumps the green brush straw, and it's created a neat little interesting riparian area, right? In that immediate area, just because that's what happens.
And that eventually drains into the San Pedro?
Well, most of that actually goes subsurface, and
because it doesn't flow.
And eventually we'll recharge our aquifer locally, because all of our water that we bring up through Arizona water comes from wells in Naco, Arizona. We are a very large plant. Our plant was built too big for the population, and we never got the growth. However, we have the possibility with that plant of treating all of Naco Sonora's water.
Wow, that'd be great.
And
so it doesn't get into our well water.
It protects ultimately it protects our environment. Anything that we do in wastewater is for two things: the environment and the ratepayer. Those always go hand in hand. The ratepayer doesn't outweigh the environment, and the environment doesn't, because ultimately what people need to realize too is, if something is done to harm the environment, that will cost people more money in their bills.
Right.
Whether it's for fines or whatever else. Health,
asthma rates, whatever.
And so there's a lot of potential there, and it's now above us. The plan is for no money to come from the city of Bisbee. That it's all going to be federally funded, EPA funded, and it's being discussed right now.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling! Oh. No, I'm the hose master. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, don't get my hat wet. Don't get my hat wet. Oh, water. Water. Oh. Are we conserving water or wasting it? That's the question.
Wasting
We live
it.
in a desert and it's full of water. It's full of... it's not a big deal. Climate change, global warming, it could be a hoax. What are you doing? Oh, this is nice. Chico, where are you? Thanks for coming to the Richy Greenjeans show. Hey, Chico. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, yeah. He's my baby. He's my little pollywog. He's my little pollywog. He's going to get wet and be cool because he's black dog and he gets hot in the sun.